2, 1, go! Okay, watch a playback.
Chris, you good? No notes! I mean, let's see how this first one goes. Anyone says cut, say it to my face where I can see you. Cut. Sounds ready. Ornery as ever. And I got a lot of feelings. But I'm going to take Chris's lead. I'm going to save him for Instagram. Thanks a bunch. And that is a wrap on Robert Downey Jr.
Hi everyone, it's Charlie. So we have a whole bunch of Iron Man deleted scenes from Avengers Endgame, as well as his very last Marvel scene that he filmed ever. Like, that's it. Picture wrap on Iron Man for Avengers Endgame. And I know that brings up the question, does that mean that he didn't film any scenes for Spider-Man Far From Home? Because it does seem like that's meant to be sort of an epilogue for his relationship with Spider-Man. So I will address that during the video. Kevin Feige also did a Reddit AMA. You probably saw people posting stuff from it all last night because it was pretty epic. He teased the return of the real Mandarin into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Remember the Marvel one-shot from Iron Man 3, All Hail the King, in the real Mandarin scene, the 10 rings? He said that they're actually planning on paying that off eventually, so I'll talk about that too. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. It's only going to get crazier. We also have all the new Avengers spin-off TV shows that are coming to the Disney Plus streaming service later this year. Of course, I'll be doing videos for that stuff too. There is a new round of that Infinity Gauntlet giveaway too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment about the movie on the video. Starting with the footage, obviously that first deleted scene is just during that final fight with Iron Man and the other Avengers going against Thanos and him trying to take the nano Iron Man gauntlet from them. I would say in terms of payoff, that fight scene against Thanos was probably better than the Infinity War scene on Titan of them fighting Thanos. So when you look at it as an entire part of the film, the Endgame fight scene wound up being bigger because that was like the last 30 minutes of the film was that huge battle, instead of just like 10 or 15 minutes during the Titan battle in Infinity War. The second deleted scene where he's yelling at the cameras is Iron Man inside the Avengers base after he's come back midway through the film when they're still developing their plan about building the nano gauntlet and snapping everyone back. Because of the way Robert Downey Jr. films his scenes, he probably has some of the most deleted footage of all, just because he'll try a whole bunch of different stuff. Like, they'll give him a script, but a lot of times in the moment, he'll just come up with his own take on whatever the scene is going to wind up being, just because he's fantastic. A lot of actors can't do that. Like, if they try to come up with their own dialogue, it would sound ridiculous. But if you've ever watched the behind the scenes for Robert Downey Jr., especially back when Joss Whedon was doing the original Avengers movie, what he would do is when he was in the heads up display, Robert Downey Jr. would sit there, Joss Whedon would sit just off camera and just spit lines at him to try. So there's probably terabytes and terabytes of deleted scenes with RDJ just trying a bunch of different versions of scenes in the movies that he's been in. But a lot of the finished ones will probably wind up on the Avengers Endgame Blu-ray when they release it later this summer. So no worries, whatever they end up putting on that Blu-ray, I will totally do videos for that stuff. The other scene that he posted is his official final last scene that he ever filmed for any kind of MCU movie. Because even though Spider-Man Far From Home comes out later this summer, they filmed it before Avengers Endgame was finished, before they did all those reshoots. So I am expecting some voiceover dialogue, maybe a message that Iron Man recorded for Spider-Man posthumously, just as a way to make Spider-Man feel better about being on his own, so to speak, going forward. Like, even though I won't be around, I'm kind of all over the place and I'll always be with you kind of thing. I'm not expecting any kind of Iron Man Force Ghost or anything like that until we get to Secret Wars territory and you have alternate universe versions of Tony Stark coming back. But the big thing you guys probably heard is Kevin Feige revealing that the real Mandarin of the 10 rings from that Marvel one-shot All Hail the King during Iron Man 3 will be coming back. So there was a question where someone asked him during his Reddit AMA where he says, are there any plans to incorporate the 10 rings from the first Iron Man or the real quote-unquote Mandarin teased in All Hail the King in the future? And Kevin Feige's response just was yes, meaning that they're obviously intending on bringing that character back and doing him on screen in a really big way. If you haven't seen that scene in a long time, it's been a while since they've done a Marvel one-shot. That's kind of what the new Disney Plus streaming shows are going to be. They're going to be made in the style of the Marvel one-shots. It'll just be 8 hours with a big movie-level budget. So here's the tag of that scene and them revealing that there really is a Mandarin, obviously because we were all super surprised that Ben Kingsley wound up being the fake version of the Mandarin.
You don't know the history of the Mandarin himself. He was a warrior king. Inspired generations of men through the Middle Ages, perhaps even further back in time.
Blah, blah, blah. Who bloody cares, mate? It's a show people want, and I gave them a good one. It's not the Mandarin they'll remember. It's the name, Trevor Slattery. It's the brand, Trev.
You're right. And for that sin, you will soon suffer horribly with a hole in your body for every ring of our faith.
Sorry, what?
You heard me.
You killed my butler.
You're not capable of pulling that trigger, Mr. Slattery.
I'm an out-of-work actor, love. You've no idea what I'm capable of. And thanks to the CBS network, I'm pretty good with a handgun.
Oh! Consider this a lesson in what's real and what's not.
Why do people keep pointing guns at my head? Please, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Target acquired and imposition extraction unit mobilized. I'm not the one that's going to kill you, Mr. Slattery. I'm here to break you out.
That's nice.
Not really. You see, there's somebody who wants to meet you.
Do I know him?
No. But you took his name, and now he wants it back.
No, sorry. I still don't get it.
So if it's been a while since you thought about the 10 Rings organization in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, essentially the first Iron Man film canonized them as a terror network that just operated in the Middle East. So we didn't really know what their structure was. At the time, it was just a way for them to safely reference the real Mandarin because he was one of the biggest Iron Man comic book villains of the classic Iron Man comics. You may remember way back to the original Comic-Con where Kevin Feige announced that they were making an Iron Man film. This is way before the Marvel Cinematic Universe became a big thing. He actually said that they were planning on doing the Mandarin. He gave this big plan and outline that didn't wind up happening because later they wound up going with Obadiah Stane as the villain. So then they came to Comic-Con the next year and showed off the trailer. He joked about that later. He's like, plans change all the time. If you go back and you watch me talking about the original Iron Man film before it came out, we actually thought that it was going to be very different before we started developing the film. Right now, there's a rumor that the Mandarin character, the 10 Rings, this will all be part of the Shang-Chi movie, which makes sense. If you're going to do a film about an Asian character, it's not a very huge leap to do an Asian villain that also will help you tie back to the original Iron Man film. They love doing that. Anytime you can introduce a new character in a different way, but also tie it back to original Marvel films and recontextualize events of previous films without completely trampling on them, It makes it really cool for fans, in the same way that they sort of recontextualize the events of the original Avengers movie with the new scenes during Avengers Endgame. Like, you watch scenes from the original Avengers movie in ways that you didn't see before. You get like extra little bits, almost as if it's deleted scenes from the Avengers movie, even though it's new footage that they shot for Avengers Endgame.
Whoa!
Hey, buddy.
What do you think? Maximum occupancy has been reached.
Take the stairs.
Yeah.
So if they do wind up doing the Mandarin during the Shang-Chi movie, don't be surprised if they have a couple references to the events of what happened during the original Iron Man film. Speaking of other things that they're bringing back, he also talked about people like Justin Hammer, the leader from the Incredible Hulk movie. He said that those aren't forgotten characters. They could always be referenced or come back during future projects. And he was also talking about the Disney Plus streaming shows.
Jackass. Whatever. Where have you been? I wrote a book in the time you were gone.
And you'll never see me coming.
Look at this guy. What is so special about him? I mean, I had an army of robots. What's he got?
When asked about how the Disney Plus streaming shows would connect to the films, he also said that they would completely connect and be totally relevant to the plot of what happens in future Marvel Phase 4 movies. So the Avengers spin-off shows like the Scarlet Witch Vision show, the Captain America, Falcon, and Winter Soldier show, all the other ones will be part of their Marvel Phase 4 schedule. It's just that some of it obviously will air on the Disney Plus streaming service exclusively, and some of them will be traditional movies like you have in previous Marvel phases. So that gives you a better idea for how Marvel Phase 4 is going to work. But don't worry, when they start releasing trailers for all this stuff, I'll do videos for that and explain, but I will be doing episode videos for those TV shows like I would normally do for any other TV show. There's a bunch of other deleted scenes and really cool things about Avengers Endgame from behind the scenes that we've been learning from the Russos, extra context. So if there are any big Marvel things that I haven't done videos about or big questions that you have, just leave your requests in the comments below and I'll add it to my bonus video list. No worries, there's going to be a whole bunch of Spider-Man, I'm sure you have a lot of X-Men and Fantastic Four questions. Kevin Feige did say that they were getting ready to introduce a lot of his favorite characters from the comics in the future without revealing big spoilers about when and who that would be. But because he grew up a hardcore X-Men and Fantastic Four fan, I think he's talking about those characters. Congratulations to the giveaway winner from my last big Marvel video, Reflex. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. While you wait for everything, click here for more Avengers Endgame deleted scenes, and click here for that brand new Rick and Morty Season 4 teaser trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.